Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's the HiFi Brothers.
And today we're going to talk about the SVS Prime Pro wireless speakers.
Let's do this. Welcome to today's episode, everybody.
Absolutely, bro. So today we're actually going to talk about the SVS Prime Pro wireless speakers. So, bro, anyways, you know, we're not going to get too much into the tech specs because these speakers actually been out for about a year. Other reviewers have done these speakers already.
Yeah, exactly, Ralph. They've been out for a while. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that do full reviews and stuff. They get into the tech specs, but I think it'd be nice to just give you all our experience with the speakers, because you might find that, yes, I would use those like that, or I don't want to use it like that, right? So we were able to test these out in different setup environments, right? So we'll talk about how I got them set up, because I was the first one to kind of play with the speakers. I hooked them up to my TV, and then I started playing them as kind of a home theater component.
Nice.
And the one thing that I did like about them was just basically the stereo separation that you get out of those speakers.
Nice.
They're fantastic for that. You get that 2.0 with the ports in the back. You're going to get more than enough bass to drive those, but the good thing about these speakers too is they do have a sub out. So you can connect your own subwoofer if you want to, and then you'll get you'll get a true 2.1 setup. So I had that connected to my home theater, and I was watching movies out of those for a while. Pretty good experience. And then I moved them over to my vintage hi-fi setup.
Nice.
And I was able to connect them through the 3.5 millimeter input in jack that's also on the speaker. And I was able to play my vinyl. I was able to play my reel-to-reel. I was able to just basically test up that entire setup that I have. I was even more impressed with that setup, believe it or not. So for me, I would say that I got more enjoyment out of the music factor of these speakers than the home theater. Right. I don't want to discredit their home theater capability, because I do see some people that maybe want to upgrade from a regular soundbar.
Right.
And just want to go with still kind of a small minimalistic form factor.
That's awesome, bro.
Then I basically repackaged them, and then I sent them to you, and I said, you do your thing. So what about your experience, Ralph?
So my experience, like I said, right out of the box, I thought they were awesome speakers. For 2-channel setup, sounded pretty good for music. I tried different variations in my app because, like I said, they hook up really easy with wireless, actually Bluetooth. So when I put on Apple TV on my phone, I watched several movies and stuff like that, and I kind of be honest with you, they sound pretty good, for just a 2-channel setup. But I hooked these up to the subwoofer, and I'll tell you what a difference, night and day. Now I'm getting a full home theater experience with just 2.1. It literally draw the speakers out more dynamically, which is really awesome.
That's awesome. And the one thing I'm going to ask you, Ralph, is one of the very first videos that we did on this channel was the SVS Ultra bookshelf speakers.
Yes.
And we did a review, and if you actually want to go back and watch that review, we'll put a card above us right now. But Ralph, let me ask you, how would you compare these? I know these are powered, so they have their own built-in Class D amplifier. How do they compare to the SVS Ultras?
These actually are very comparable. I would say these have more bass extension than the Ultras, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and maybe it's because of the port that's in the back too, so that definitely does add to it. So that was a very good choice that SVS did by adding that port in the back of the speakers, because they knew that if you're going to be using these for any type of environment, even though they included the sub out, which is huge.
It's huge.
I don't think you're going to miss it.
So, bro, why don't we cut to a demo and so let our viewers, kind of experience like what we were listening to.
Yeah, that sounds great, Ralph. Let's roll it.
Let's do things differently this time. Like, so differently. His name is Miles Morales.
right, Ralph, that's awesome, man. Let's get into, I don't want to call them cons, maybe nitpicks, which is just things that we found that maybe a little bit annoying, but we got over it.
We got it, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll start with you. What are some nitpicks about the speakers?
So the nitpicks is, like, I noticed that, like, they don't turn off. That's one of the nitpicks. The other nitpick I have with these speakers, they don't have a built-in EQ that you can actually use to, set your frequencies and all that stuff. I guess you can use your phone to put your frequencies, and maybe that's a big
sure
thing.
Like the built-in equalizer.
Yeah, built-in equalizer. Another nitpick is, I would say that the wire that goes from one speaker to the other speaker, sometimes it gets in a way with other components that you have.
Yeah,
it's really not a big deal, but if you can hide it, awesome. So, bro, what about you? What are your nitpicks about these speakers?
The one thing for me, and it's not really SVS, is the DTS Playi app. So we've done a video about the SVS Prime wireless sound base. Mm-hmm. This was an older model. It wasn't the Pro one that's out right now. So I think it was their first rendition of it, or first one of that product. It was kind of the same experience with DTS Playi. Setting it up was not that hard, but after I set the speakers up, I was like, now what? Then you kind of got to figure it out of, okay, if I click the plus button and I want to play to the speakers, then it brings you a list of music streaming services that you can click through. And if you have an account, you just set up your account and then you're off to make those connections. And that's where you're going to get the most out of the wireless HiFi experience, because with DTS Playi, you're going to get that as close to lossless compression or lossless file type as possible, right? So like, I know Tidal, a lot of people use those specifically, and then there's Spotify too that allows you to do that. But I don't have those services anymore, so I really couldn't test those out and give you all like my honest opinion of how it sounded. I didn't really feel like I missed anything by not having DTS Playi.
Right.
And I know there's been other YouTubers out there that have the same experience. So, all right, Ralph. Well, I think that's a lot of information for our viewers. So why don't we go ahead and get into some final thoughts?
Absolutely. So my final thoughts about these speakers, like I said, it exceeded my expectations. Like I said, right out of the box, they're gonna work. You're gonna hook it up to Bluetooth, start playing music, start watching movies if you need to. Honestly, bro, like these speakers would be good for like a person that's like living in a studio, like a student or something like that. Or even if you live in a house, and you just want to enjoy, just your 2-channel speakers and stuff like that. I think it would be mostly geared towards that type of person. But if you enjoy music a lot and you want to get good, bass extension plus the clarity that goes in here, and like I said, these have, I think like it has 6 presets that's on there, which is kind of cool. So you can set each individual preset, whatever you want to do. These speakers would be for you. I mean, these are really good. Also, what you didn't mention was that these things have an HDMI hookup. So you can actually hook them up via eARC or ARC that you have in your television, and you can actually run those as your main speakers to get away from your television, because like how television speakers are. Some of them sound good, some of them are kind of echoey.
Yeah.
And there you go. You can actually, and like I said, most TVs out there have built-in EQ. So you can actually use that as your main listening if you like to. So what are your final thoughts, bro?
I mean, if I had to put them in one statement, I would say that these are going to be the most versatile speakers that you can go and buy right now.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I say that is the connectivity alone make them a great buy.
Absolutely.
You get the RCA inputs, 3.5 millimeter jack in. You also get a sub out. You get the HDMI, which you just talked about, the ER connection. You also get optical and Bluetooth, and you also get AirPlay 2 in addition to DTS Playi.
Absolutely.
So SVS built a fantastic product where they were thinking about anybody and everybody.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a home theater minimalist and you just want to have, some sort of stereo separation outside of, just a normal sound bar that just is center of the TV, and you want some stereo separation, you want to include a subwoofer to that, bam. Now you're like expanding that. and you're still keeping it within the confines of minimalistic approach because you don't need a receiver, you don't need to run wires everywhere, etc., and stuff like that, right? Like I said earlier in the video, my favorite part of these speakers was when I was playing them through my vintage hi-fi setup.
Yeah.
I was getting so much out of my setup because of the powered amplifier.
Yep.
It was really bringing everything out. So, you know, for somebody who may have an older setup and they want to, I don't know, resurrect their setup, these would be a fantastic addition.
Absolutely.
And what's nice is you don't have to worry about the connection because SVS got you covered.
Absolutely.
But you know what, Ralph? I think that concludes our video.
Absolutely, bro. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button.
And as always,
Keep it hi-fi.